BuildAid is so proud to be part of this amazing, bustling city of gold. Come behind the scenes with us as we explore what really goes into the development, refurbishment and creation of this incredible city we call home. From past to present, we look at what makes Jersey unique and what the future holds. This week we chat to Brent Alexander from Epik Design, all about 3D modeling for your house. We also touch on number 1 Fox Street and how historical areas are being transformed and refurbished.
Really good. So this is BuildAid on Mix 93.8 FM. And we're going to be swapping mics a little this evening and a little bit noisy around. Tonight we're going to be having a lot of fun with 3D modeling. Being able to walk around your home, move things around, paint it and so on before it's even built. That's what we're going to be chatting about to someone that shares my surname, Brent Alexander, and we may be joined by Steve Olofsson. They're both from Epik Creative Works. These are the guys that do this stuff.
And tonight we're also looking for an address. It's a number and an animal. And I'm pretty sure a number of people act like animals when they go there today. Here's a clue. There's a bit of luck involved and you can get an insanely large beer when you go there. It is in Jersey. It's a slightly difficult question tonight because you can win an incredible pair of virtual reality glasses worth around 800 Rand, and it comes with a remote control for all you really lazy VR fanatics out there. So if you know which address I'm looking for, it's a number and an animal in downtown Jersey. Send us an SMS on 41348.
This is BuildAid on Mix FM, brought to you by AfriSam. We're going to chat about 3D visualization and all the other bits that go with it. Brent Alexander, we share a surname. Welcome. Thanks for coming to chat to us.
Thanks for having me, Grant.
Let's get right to the prize that you guys have put up for us this evening. It's called a VR box. It's a gadget, looks like something out of Star Wars. It straps around your head and you watch a video. Now, some of you may know Google Cardboard and other viewers, and it's very similar to that. But you won't believe what we're going to learn tonight. You can get a model of your home made, a video of that model, and you can put this gadget on your head and you can walk around the house that you're about to build. Have I got that sort of right, Brent?
I think that's in a nutshell, yes. Obviously, there's a lot of technical background to that, but yeah, I hope we can unpack that this evening.
So you get Kay's question right. You can have one of these headsets. Just back to a little bit of history, and I know Simon's going to help us out here as the show goes on, and if we have a couple of microphones sorted out in the next few minutes. But if we look at the history of presenting projects in the past, and tonight we're talking essentially about residential projects. We're not talking about offices and so on. And it goes back hundreds of years, and some of the drawings that you see in history are absolutely fabulous. And hopefully every architect learns to draw. I don't know what Simon has to say about that.
You know, when we were studying, we were taught how to draw, but I think nowadays with computerization, there's so many people that actually forget how to draw, that you actually have this single thought process from your brain to your pencil, as opposed to from your brain to your fingers, to the keyboard, to the program, to the screen to present, and it's vastly different.
Two-dimensional. It's an XY drawing. It's flat. You can't see what's behind it and so on. Brent, give us an idea of 3D, an overview of what we're looking at.
Well, Graham, you mentioned X and Y. Obviously now we're just adding a Z plane, if you want to call it that. So your traditional drawing techniques are 2D drawings, but now we're taking those 2D drawings into the Y space, which is now you're taking them up into a 3D sort of environment. And I think that's the basics in sort of in very, very simple terms what 3D is about. Simon obviously mentioned the traditional techniques of what guys used to do, drawing by hand and that sort of thing. 3D these days has now become, it's not so much going against traditional, it's become a new tool for people to visualize and create things.
Just so we all understand, if we visualized a home we're about to build, and you look at the plans, that's two-dimensional.
100%.
So what you're doing with 3D, you're pulling it up, or you extruding it, if you like, into another dimension.
That's exactly what it basically entails. If we pictured a floor plan, that was you were looking at on your table, and if you took the walls and whatever else and you basically pulled them up and, like you said, extruded them, that's going to give you now a 3D representation of this 2D drawing.
Just so that we understand technical models and presentation models, I think most models are understood to be for presentation purposes, and so they should be. That's a very important part of modeling, but they can also be technical. In other words, the door could have a door handle and hinges, or the conduit in the roof could have some wiring in it. How often do you find in the residential market, and maybe Simon and Brent can add something to this, where technical models are built for residential buildings?
From our side, we always build models, not only for the client but also for ourselves, because we actually need that model. We need to visualize what we're actually going to be building. It highlights all sorts of issues as we go along. So residentially, all the time. And in fact, it's not even something that somebody asks for and that you say, yeah, we can do or we can't do. We do it every time.
Brent, when we come back, I want you to walk us through this process so that we know what to expect, and then maybe further on in the show we can chat about the different software that's available and how people go about it and so on. BuildAid on Mix. I'm chatting to Brent Alexander, talking about 3D virtual reality. You do have another 8 minutes to win a VR box. This is something from Star Wars. You put it on and you can walk around your home, or you can go on a roller coaster ride. So Kay's question was a street downtown Joburg where you can have a good jaw. Starts with an F. It's a dog with a bushy tail and a long nose. Try and win this VR box. Okay, let's get back to the show. As a service to architects, which is what your company Epik does, Brent, it obviously makes a lot of sense. Otherwise, the architect's got to get the software, practice the software, and so on. But obviously, an architect could do it in-house or use someone like Epik.
100%, Graham, and it's obviously it's architects, but it's anyone that's involved in any sort of spatial planning. It could be interior decorators, space planners, who need some sort of a sales tool to pitch to either to end users, clients, etc. And that's sort of where it is. And yeah, there's quite an involved process in getting it done. We've spent many hours developing the pipeline to get this right. So it's not necessarily something that an architect would usually do in-house. We would usually get a brief or a set of plans, even perhaps a SketchUp model or a basic model, and we can then take it and convert it into what's required.
Simon, you run an architectural practice, and what's your view on that?
Brent's 100% correct. I mean, and even you, we do not do 3D modeling in-house. It's just too time-consuming, and like you said, you've got to be an expert at what software you are manipulating, and because there's so much software out there, we never ever do it in-house. We always farm it out, and in fact, we are utilizing the services of young Mr. Alexander sitting in the studio here. So yeah.
So as a homeowner, obviously I have an architect. We are designing or developing this home, and the architect recommends that we build a model. Now, to what level, I suppose, would depend on budgets and so on, because I would guess you want to turn the tap on and water comes out, that model is going to cost more than a wireframe.
For sure.
But the architect then would contract somebody like Epik, and everybody benefits.
Correct, yeah. A client involved in any sort of spatial planning or wants to see any type of product or space in 3D would contact us first. And it's phased. I mean, the first initial block model that we can create for a space, a house or a building of sorts, is sort of the first phase. And that the architect will use to get the client to understand what it's about, or the developer. Once we can take it to the next phase, that is almost then translated to the client. We can propose to the client that we can take it to to the absolute maximum.
Brent, if I'm a homeowner, I have a set of drawings, hopefully electronic set of drawings, and I would like to create a model. Maybe I've lost touch with my architect or whatever. Maybe it's an existing home that I would like to add to. Can you build a model?
Of course, yeah. Look, existing homes are a little bit more complicated, especially older buildings, because of the quality of the plans and what's out there. Looking at buildings that are built a long time ago, you're not going to find a set of DWGs or DXFs. They're usually hand drawn and in feet and inches. But yes, it can be done.
Yeah. There's some other clever technology. We'll talk about it in another show with photogrammetry and so on, picking up dimensions. It's another whole world. But the point is, you can build a model for anybody if you're given the right information.
Definitely so.
Okay, so to finish off, Brent, blow our minds with this thing called a blackbird.
It's yeah, you guys can Google and just have a look. It's just to show you what sort of, again, I mentioned the bleeding edge of VR and 3D visualization. A company in the States, not going to give them free marketing, but developed a vehicle, and it's mainly for movies, cinema, and obviously TV commercials. But it is a vehicle, looks something like a go-kart. It represents real dimensions of a vehicle, but you can change the wheelbase and the track width to suit whatever car it is. But as the director or the cameraman looks through the viewfinder, call it the body of the car, a Chevrolet or whatever the car is, you can actually see that through the viewfinder now. So along drives this little blackbird or go-kart thing. You look through the viewfinder and you actually see a 3D rendered model through the viewfinder. The Blackbird's actually equipped with a full 360 camera. So as the car drives along, it's capturing the environment around it. So in the 3D model you're seeing through that viewfinder, it's actually capturing the reflections as well. To give you an example, if you're looking through the viewfinder, I can walk up to this 3D model or this virtual car, and I'll actually see my reflection in it.
Unbelievable. The good news is most of what we've been talking about tonight, in fact, all of it, is available. So if you are designing a home, get your architect to chat a crowd like Epik and model it, and you can have a lot of fun at the same time. Okay.
Right. Well done to everyone who got it right. The last few coming through, Tony, John, and Mandy. Well done. And we have a winner tonight, but let me tell you the answer first. We were looking for number 1, Fox Street, and all my clues were leading to the Good Luck Bar and various, oh no, not Owl Street in Alberton. Really, Nick, you've missed the boat completely. New SMS coming through. So well done to everyone who got it right. And Ryan, you are the winner. And only because Ryan put in so much effort with his SMS, and he sent me all the names of the places that you can find there to listen to live music and get food and drink giant beers. So well done.
Thanks to the team, Simon K. and Ian videoing the show. And thanks to everyone for listening to the show. And a special thanks to you, Brent, for coming to chat to us about VR.
Thanks a lot, Graham. And Ryan, enjoy the glasses.
Up next is the greatest show on earth. We do this every week on Wednesday between 6 and 7. Chat you next week. Ciao.
There must be so much love in my heart that it would tear me apart.